Hey everybody, today I want to talk about Serious Sam's weapon wheel. As you can see, the graph on the side is for the weapon wheel, so this is the dead zone for it. So you can see that's how far you have to move to select weapons. But what I mainly want to point out are the selection ranges, denoted by these color changes. You'll notice that the cardinal directions have quite a bit more range of motion than these diagonal ones, and that's just from the square dead zone. So as I said, with aiming, changing that to a circle, it'd be important to do that here too, because if you look at this angle to here and you add it up to this angle to here, it's about the same as right here. It's just this whole range, extra range, is just from the dead zone. So it's creating a pretty heavy bias on these cardinal directions. Switching to a circular dead zone would close up these ranges so that you'd have equal range for all 8 of your weapons. A dead zone this large is always kind of ugly to see, but this is perfectly fine for a weapon wheel because players will just be pegging the stick in that direction, so you don't have to be precise. And with larger dead zones, when selecting weapons, you actually have a larger arc range, and so that makes it so if you push your stick over here or over here, you're still getting the correct weapon you want. With a smaller dead zone, your arc range is smaller, so it's easier to bleed into a weapon selection you don't want. However, like I said, with the outer dead zone and the aiming video, some players sticks can't reach the edge, so they might not be able to switch into the weapon they want. So maybe tying this wheel dead zone with the aiming dead zone, like this wheel dead zone is about 5% smaller than the aiming outer dead zone. So maybe tying that together would allow players to control that, just to make sure that even players with failing sticks can still play comfortably. But otherwise, yeah, it's just changing the dead zone issues. That's the only issues with the weapon wheel. Otherwise, I want to get on to some of the great stuff about weapon wheels, the weapon wheel application here. I'm a huge fan of weapon wheels. I think they're very effective tools, and it can easily multiply the amount of inputs you get on a controller. And with games like this, you have full access to your weapon roster. One of the biggest complaints I regularly have with games, though, is that there's always some kind of animation lag, or they overload the weapon wheel button with some other input like previous weapon or cycle or something like that, and that offsets the wheel registration, so you have to wait a while before it registers, and that's kind of cumbersome and defeats the point of it. But with Serious Sam, the wheel registers immediately, so I can just pull up the wheel for just a fraction of like a few frames, and then flick the stick and switch weapons immediately. And that's something that a lot of other games don't have. So that's something that weapon wheel should be doing, and I'm really glad that Serious Sam's is doing that. Additionally, you can just double tap in a direction and cycle through that weapon. That's not too surprising, since that's how you cycle through it with weapon keybinds for mouse and keyboard, or with the D-pad in previous ports. But you can also use the trigger too, so you have very fast access to weapons. So if I wanted to go to the grenade launcher, I just weapon wheel up and trigger, and then yeah, so it's very fast. This is exactly what you want a weapon wheel to be. Just have direct access to all your weapons. And I want to give Crow Team a lot of credit for that. You also have that nice slowdown for players who aren't familiar with their weapon position yet. So that's nice too. But I just want to give Crow Team a lot of credit, and hopefully Serious Sam 4 keeps the wheel just as responsive as this one. Just fix these dead zone issues, and yeah, the weapon will be fantastic. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Everyone have a good rest of your day.